Nia Jax sent a message to Dominik Mysterio following Tiffany Stratton's failed Money in the Bank cash-in attempt on Liv Morgan during a recent episode of WWE Raw. The Buff Barbie teamed up with Rhea Ripley to take on Liv and Raquel Rodriguez in the show's main event. Jax and Stratton are currently performing on SmackDown. In recent weeks, there has been a lot of tension between both superstars, with Tiffany teasing the Money in the Bank cash-in on the reigning WWE Women's Champion. Jax also asked Stratton to go to Raw and asked Ripley and Morgan not to return to SmackDown. Stratton's Money in the Bank cash-in attempt on Morgan was interrupted by Dominik Mysterio, who saved the 30-year-old star. While the Judgment Day members exited the arena, Jax put Dirty Dom on notice, sending him a message. WWE superstar Nia Jax is interested in joining the Bloodline. Nia Jax recently discussed the idea of joining the Bloodline in WWE. The heel faction consists of Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Jacob Fatu. While speaking with the Daily Mail UK, Jax explained how fans discussed the possibility of her joining the heel faction. The reigning WWE Women's Champion wants to be successful in her path. It's only been discussed by fans. I definitely think that's an easy thing to go to, but I also know that the boys really support us in our journey, and they want us to be successful in our own right and pave our own path and create our own legacy, Nia Jax said. The Bloodline is currently feuding with Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso, who have been outnumbered by the faction. During the latest edition of Monday Night Raw, Jimmy tried talking to his twin brother, Jey Uso, in hopes of reuniting the original Bloodline. Regardless, Nia Jax is focused on the upcoming Crown Jewel Premium Live event, where she will face Liv Morgan to crown the inaugural Women's Crown Jewel Champion. It was a chaotic night on WWE Raw, the kind of night that had fans buzzing and wrestlers on edge. Tiffany Stratton, fresh off winning the coveted Money in the Bank briefcase, had her sights set on a historic moment, catching in on the WWE Women's Champion, Rhea Ripley. But like many before her, the moment slipped through her fingers. In a dramatic sequence of events, Tiffany's dreams crumbled, and in the aftermath, Nia Jax, having recently returned to WWE, decided to use the situation to send a pointed message to Dominik Mysterio. The energy inside the arena was palpable. The night's main event saw Rhea Ripley defending her WWE Women's Championship against Zoe Stark in a brutal match that showcased Ripley's dominance. Zoe gave everything she had, but Rhea's relentless aggression and power were simply too much. As the match ended with Rhea standing tall, holding her championship high, the audience sensed something more was about to unfold. From the corner of the ring, Tiffany Stratton's music hit, and she bolted down the ramp, briefcase in hand. The crowd erupted, realizing that Stratton was moments away from attempting a cash-in. The tension was thick. Rhea, still battered from her match with Zoe, stood in the ring with a mix of exhaustion and defiance. Tiffany handed her briefcase to the referee, officially starting the match. But what looked like the beginning of Tiffany's career-defining moment quickly turned into a nightmare. As the bell rang, Dominik Mysterio, who had been ringside to support Rhea, slid into the ring to provide a distraction. Tiffany, caught off guard, turned her attention to Dominik for just a split second, long enough for Rhea to recover. Before Tiffany knew it, she was flat on her back, courtesy of a devastating riptide from Ripley. The referee counted to 3, and just like that, Tiffany's dreams of being champion were crushed. The crowd roared, half in shock and half in awe of Rhea's resilience. But the chaos didn't end there. As Tiffany lay on the mat, defeated and humiliated, Nia Jax's music hit the PA system. The crowd's reaction was mixed, some booing, others unsure of what was about to happen next. Nia marched down to the ring, her eyes locked on Dominik. Rhea, still recovering from the match, stood beside her Judgment Day ally, unsure of Nia's intentions. The two women had shared a brutal history in the ring, but this night, Nia's focus wasn't on Rhea, it was on Dominik. Grabbing a microphone, Nia stepped into the ring, towering over Dominik, who, despite his bravado, seemed somewhat uneasy. The audience hushed, waiting to hear what Nia had to say. Dominik Mysterio, Nia began, her voice dripping with menace. I've watched you for months now, hiding behind Rhea, getting involved in matches that have nothing to do with you. Tonight, you cost Tiffany Stratton the biggest moment of her career. You think you're untouchable just because you have Rhea in your corner. The crowd began to murmur, sensing a confrontation brewing. Rhea stood protectively in front of Dominik, but Nia was unfazed. She continued, "You've been running around like a king because Rhea lets you, but sooner or later, someone's going to knock you off that pedestal. And trust me, Dom." She spat the nickname with disdain. "It could be me." Dominik, now visibly rattled, tried to respond, but Nia cut him off. "You want to act tough, interfere in matches, and think there won't be any consequences. Let me remind you, you're still a Mysterio. You've got a legacy, but it's not one of destruction. It's one of weakness." The crowd reacted with a sharp intake of breath. Nia had crossed a line, and everyone knew it. Rhea finally stepped in, standing between Nia and Dominik. The tension was electric. "Back off, Nia," Rhea growled. "Dom's with me. If you have a problem with him, you have a problem with me." Nia raised an eyebrow, clearly amused by Rhea's protective stance. "Oh, Rhea," she said mockingly, "I don't want Dom. He's not worth my time. But you and I, we've got unfinished business. And when I'm done with you, maybe I'll teach Dom here what it means to face real competition." With that, Nia dropped the mic and turned to leave the ring, but not before giving Dominik one final, piercing look. The message was clear. Nia Jax was coming for Rhea, and Dominik was caught in the crossfire. As Nia walked back up the ramp, Dominik stood frozen, processing the weight of her words. For the first time since aligning with Rhea and the Judgment Day, he realized that he might have overplayed his hand. He had made plenty of enemies over the past year, but Nia Jax was a different kind of threat. She wasn't interested in playing games or aligning herself with anyone. She was out for blood. Backstage, the atmosphere was equally tense. Tiffany Stratton, having recovered from her failed cash-in, was seen storming around, clearly furious at Dominik for ruining her moment. In a brief interview, she didn't mince words. "Dominik Mysterio just cost me the WWE Women's Championship," she hissed. "I don't care who he thinks he is, he's going to pay for what he did." It was a night of shattered dreams and brewing feuds. Tiffany Stratton's failed cash-in was only the beginning. Nia Jax had made her intentions clear. She was coming for Rhea Ripley, and Dominik Mysterio had just painted a target on his back. As Raw went off the air, the WWE Universe was left wondering. How long could Dominik rely on Rhea's protection before someone, whether it be Nia Jax or another of his enemies, finally got their hands on him? The road to survival for Dominik Mysterio was about to get a lot more dangerous. And Nia Jax? She had sent her message, loud and clear.